Hello there internet dwellers, welcome back to another video. Today we have a very strange video for you. I've just watched this and I've started doing my intros after watching the actual video just so I can give you a little bit of context of what you're getting yourself into. And I have to say, I have no idea. I mean, in a good way. This is so incomprehensible, but it makes sense in terms of the actual story, why it's like that. It's going to give you an irrational fear of mannequins, probably, and maybe make you question what the hell is real. So if you have any kind of like disassociation, surrealism kind of mental disorders, maybe skip this one. I'm just going to say that right now because it's going to probably trigger something in you, and I would not want that for anybody for sure. This is all fake, you know, it's all fake, but it's hard to tell that to, you know, a disorder. So if you do enjoy this, please go subscribe to Anomaly. This guy is a fantastic creator. And if you like my reaction, guys, why not leave a like, rating, subscribe? I'm on a journey to 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and any help with that is appreciated. So this was actually recommended to me on my Discord by a user called Prime, so thank you for the suggestion. If you guys have anything you want to send to me that's scary, that you think will be a good reaction, join my Discord down below, pop it in the Scarebaz submission, and if I watch it, I'll give you a shout out. Let's go on with the video. Okay, so the first video we're going to be watching is called The Real Intruder. And in the description it says this: Jacques Lacan, the renowned French psychiatrist, coined the real as a forbidden, horrifying, and incomprehensible concept to approach a dimension of reality that eludes human understanding. Let's jump into this. Okay. Freaking FNAF 3. Well, 4, sorry. So this is home security, which I wouldn't have that much. I don't know. I'd feel like I have no privacy at all if I have to put cameras in every single room like that. Screw that. It's not fun. Wearing their high heels. The intruder's got fashion. Where are we looking? Were they there? This is a national alert. All citizens are required to remain vigilant due to the escapement of an extremely dangerous entity. The government mandates the following preventive actions, failure to comply with which may result in imprisonment or internment due to imminent biological risk. Cancel any public funerals, remove all mannequins from commercial stores, burn any photograph that includes human beings, remove all mirrors from homes, buildings, hospitals, commercials, establishments. Basically, we've lost at this point. Every individual must carry a visible document of identification at all times, both outside and inside. Well, this just isn't a fun way to live, is it? I think, you know, count me out. Dr. Andrew Becker. We've been monitoring an entity for the past 2 months. We have enclosed it in a 4-meter thick concrete container and monitoring it with an internal camera. The entity appears to be motionless, although we have found it in two different positions when not under observation. This is extremely bizarre, but despite lacking facial features, it seems to interact with the camera. Oh, it's just a mannequin, basically. This is going to give us irrational fears. The following photographs were taken using different spectrums of light and revealed a strange face after a transformation that lasted almost 106 hours. Okay. Oh, look at that. Look at those nipples. The lack of, should I say. The entity remains always silent. However, some laboratory workers reported feeling that the figure spoke directly to them through the screens. Oh dear. HR and SD, the 2 permanent camera monitors, had to be hospitalized in critical condition. After 3 weeks, a strange infection and enormous tumors rapidly spread across their faces. Good lord, did we have to see this? Le découverte is real. The discovery of the real.
Jacques Lacan
Jack Lacan conducted an intense, lifelong inquiry into the ontology, linguistics, and psyche of the truths of reality. His most famous theory, that of the three registers, proposes a radical dimension of existence that we can only access indirectly through a traumatic encounter with the impossible. This real is a structure elusive to the mind where existence is shaped by parameters that defy understanding. Man, in his infinite interest to go beyond himself, could accidentally create a catastrophic breach if he attempted to access the real. In the real, there is no identity, no figures. Only horror and uncertainty. So it's, basically this is another dimension. Jeez. I can't see anything. Is it? What is that? Are those clothes? Blood. It's blood. Oh, good God. It's a naked man. It's a meth head. He got in. He's tweaking. Okay. Right. Okay, so this next one is called Research. Investigations on a rare phenomenon of the universal constitution.
This is an instructional video intended for proper qualified personnel in the treatment, study, safeguarding, and storage of entities and phenomena, the public scientific disclosure of which would constitute a tearing apart of the fabric of civilization.
Oh dear. Okay, well that doesn't sound good. We should probably avoid doing that. The everyday reality. Let's talk like this.
Everyday reality refers to the objective and tangible existence of the world around us, independent of our individual perceptions and beliefs. It encompasses all the events, objects, phenomena, and processes that make up the universe, including both the observable and the unobservable. Reality is characterized by its capacity to directly influence and impact our lives, and it can be studied and understood through different...
What is this thing meant to be? What the hell is this?
...disciplines such as physics, biology, psychology, and philosophy. While our interpretations and understandings of reality may vary, reality...
This isn't a tree.
...itself
you're talking about that thing.
A fundamental and objective concept
this
that
could be anything
beyond our individual perceptions.
An octopus, a monster. Tape 2. I don't know, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that. Kiesik. In Jacques Lacan's theory, the concept of the real does not simply refer to the physical or material, but rather to a dimension of experience that is fundamentally inaccessible and disturbing. It cannot be fully captured by the language or the mental representations we construct to make sense of the world. For the French author, everyday reality is meditated by language and symbols that we use to represent it. This symbolic mediation creates a subjective experience of reality that is shaped by our beliefs, prejudices, and individual fantasies. The real, on the other hand, intrudes into our lives in ways that confront us with the lack of correspondence between our representations and direct experience. It is with that which sustains the apparatus of existence itself. The real manifests itself through the inexplicable. Oh my God, the incomprehensible and the traumatic, and it is a disruptive force that disturbs our illusion of control and mastery over the world. Right. So the real is just incomprehensible and can only be accessed through what trauma? What then exists in the real?
To understand what exists in this realm called the real, it is necessary to engage in the highest exercise of mental abstraction.
What does that mean?
While the real can be perceived through the senses and manifested in concrete objects,
This could be an
this is
average
merely
pigeon.
an imaginary way of being processed by the human mind.
But it
derived
could
from
be
what
an
can be seen
imaginary
in
of
an
the
image.
real.
Due to the physical limitations of the organism and the tendency towards the survival of subjective psychic experience,
Okay.
these phenomena present themselves through a collective and individual imaginary. These supposed entities fracture existence and create an unassimilable gap after
This is so
traumatic experiences
confusing.
or
These are pigeons. They couldn't be anything
failures
else.
in the known reality.
No, unless you didn't know what a pigeon was.
Warning: phenomena of the real may be collectively perceived as everyday objects. However, despite certain reports, although many people may see the
Wooden
exact
cube.
same thing, certain digital devices would interpret them differently, and some
Drawing
individuals
of what a child claimed to see instead of the same
would
wooden
apprehend
cube.
them with forms and characteristics that differ
Scorn.
from those commonly described.
Photograph of the same cube taken in a laboratory. Personnel are advised to carry a unique identification document at all times. Mandatory.
The real could even be interpreted by the mind in the form of a friend, a child, or any other
This
person.
person probably exists. This probably
Although the
okay.
identification card is not foolproof, it has reported an effectiveness of 28% compared to other
Identifying oneself through legal documents reduces the probability of encountering a real
methods that have failed
by
outright.
28%.
It appears that the real primarily manifests in the human mind through organic entities.
This woman has also been described like this by other
Rarely
people.
have experiences with inanimate objects been reported. However, the latter have exhibited the most volatile, dangerous, and risky characteristics for maintaining the
Stability of reality.
Right. Okay. So what we see necessarily isn't what is. We're only perceiving what we think through our senses, but it's like just what masquerading is what we think that thing is. My goodness, this is the real testing. This is a test that should only be undergone by authorized and properly trained personnel. Possession of this material outside scientific military supervision risked federal prosecution. Science security, is that what the badge says? SS. Might want to change that.
This personnel will be shown a photograph of an entity phenomenon, which has been concluded with 89% certainty to be real.
Damn, okay.
The following image was captured after a fire and explosion at plastic factory in
Ohio incident.
in 1978, where 14 people were fatally injured, and 10 others suffered irreversible lifelong consequences.
Jesus, okay. What the hell happened?
Personnel are advised to observe the material under the following mandatory conditions. Failure to comply will result in capture and permanent quarantine at the study center facilities.
Damn, that's pretty brutal.
Close doors and windows. Do not observe it between 5 p.m. and 11 p.m. A 70% occurrence of unpredictable effects has been reported during this time range.
Jeez, this is like the thing about this series is that it's hard to wrap your head around, and it's meant to be like that because that's what it's about. It's about things that are incomprehensible to the human brain. So in a way, it's pretty good that it comes across this way, where you're like, I can't really wrap my head around this because you're not meant to. That's what this thing is.
Be in the company of another human, as the real could take the form of your counterpart and transform them into a doppelganger. If you have been diagnosed with a psychotic disorder such as schizophrenia, schizophreniform disorder, major depression, or any type of personality disorder, the probability of experiencing a panic crisis or paranoid crisis has been reported at 45% compared to other mental disorders.
My goodness.
If
Well,
you cannot see anything, do not take your eyes off the image. The real could be in your visual apparatus, affecting an object or physical phenomenon in your surroundings. When the image is removed, close your eyes for 40 seconds.
okay. Here we go. Observe with utmost care what would be reflected in the mirror. Apparently, there's something to the right. Oh, I'm not meant to take my eyes off the mirror. Results. 35% of people claim to have seen nothing. Yeah, I didn't see anything. 21% of people claim to have seen a chair like this. I don't think I saw a chair. 18% of people claim to have heard a voice inside their head. The 10% of people claim to have seen nothing behind the mirror, but they felt tremendous terror. I didn't feel any. 9% claim to have seen something like this drawing. God damn. 7% of people were never seen again. What? What happened to them? They just disappeared. We survived, guys. There's 3 more of these. This one's called The Real First Contact. Here we go, tape 5. The White Mannequin, the most dangerous entity reported to date. Dr. Alexander Simard, head of the Department of Anomalous Reality Investigation Cases. Let's give this guy a weird-ass fucking voice.
It happened in Toronto
Okay, never mind.
in 1988. The workers of a renowned clothing store called Salvatore Boutique in the city's downtown area reported that, for several weeks, they found a series of mannequins in different positions inside the store. The security cameras captured this, showing these figures in places where they shouldn't be.
Good God. Right, they do look a little bit creepy. They don't even look like mannequins.
A few weeks after these curious occurrences,
Kemberlane.
the death of 3 individuals was reported.
Kemberlane. Is that an American name?
2 female employees of the clothing store and a passerby. This all happened on the night of June 10th. The
Donald
footage of
Ferguson.
their deaths was captured by internal and external security cameras.
Jeez.
Apparently, a figure with strange arms suddenly emerged from some of the
Slenderman.
store's mannequins and attacked the 2 women inside. A man who happened to be passing by also suffered a fatal fate.
Oh my
The
God.
police prohibited the disclosure of the audiovisual material. 3
What?
weeks later, after an apparent calm in the activity of the mannequins, this image forced the permanent closure of the clothing store.
Jeez, it looks like a freaking meatball, like a tumor
Half a
head.
year later, the American
You know
Security
those things from Doom, like the big freaking meatball flying things.
Department requested the intervention of the Canadian government for the study of these mannequins. The team from the Department of Anomalous Reality Investigation Cases selected 2 of their top doctors to initiate the study of these strange creatures.
Okay.
They were kept in a laboratory 1 kilometer deep, in a specially contained room for observation purposes for several days. The examination of this mannequin revealed a
good
series
God.
of issues, as despite the images showing the presence of muscular material inside
Ugh.
it, as well as relatively human-like nervous tissue.
Ugh. That's
Some
vile.
members of the medical team were emphatic in stating that they never saw what the images recorded. They claimed to have only examined an ordinary mannequin made of wood and metal, which
Damn.
they disassembled
So they couldn't see it, but the camera could pick it
and
up.
found nothing unusual.
It's like that game, what's it called? With the camera, Project Zero, I think it was called, or Fatal Frame in America, I think it was called. When it's like a ghost camera, and you can see the ghosts through the camera. Wow. Well, that's disgusting. Jesus! My God! Well, so this is... They didn't see any of this? It looks like a Wicker Man. Oh. Right.
This
okay.
event led the department to conduct an exhaustive study of the nature of this entity, as well as all others that exhibited similar characteristics.
Okay. Tape 6. Damn. How did this thing even get through? Was it this French philosopher guy or whatever, psychiatrist? Did he bring this thing into the world? Next, we will present excerpts from a transcription of interviews conducted with 3 prisoners sentenced to life imprisonment. Their names are Walter Harrington, Sterling Donovan, and Peter? Man, I should say Peter. I am so bad at names. The latter was the one who provided the most relevant testimony for the investigation. Walter Harrington, 40 years old.
I know, man. I told you like 3-4 times already. I saw that damn thing move on the table during lunchtime. What the hell did you expect me to do? I know nobody gives a damn about my life or anyone else's in this goddamn world, but nobody wants to die like that. That thing could have even attacked me. No, it wasn't just a damn chair. What the hell are you telling me?
I saw how he tried to escape. It even told me to the plan. I'm not stupid enough to fall for that crap, especially after seeing what you guys did to him in the cell with those black hooded men. No? And who the hell's it gonna be? He didn't die. Are you crazy? I saw him this morning. You think I'm a liar? What more do you need from a snitch? Amen, brother.
There were 4 of us. You already know the names. The idiot was munching on a piece of human intestine and nobody said a damn thing. I don't know where he got it from. I don't think he killed anyone. I don't think he's one of those... What the hell happened to that accent? What do you call them? Oh yeah, cannibals. Oh. No, he wasn't eating an apple, man. I'm telling you. He had a piece of meat in his hand. I wasn't about to start a fight over such stupidity. You guys have surveillance cameras. I know what I saw. The other idiots must have conspired to get me locked up in isolation. This voice just turned... I don't know what this has turned into. Oh, good God. Let's go back. This guy saw something on the table that obviously nobody else saw. And then it turned into another person. Or like they all saw something, this thing, but it was doing different things. We shall see. This is a very confusing analog horror, but I guess, like I said, it's meant to be, so. Right, this one's called, what does that say? Classified material for internal use of the Department of Anomalous Reality Investigation Cases, 1992. The chosen ones for the clinical trial. Name AA, age 52, status divorced, occupation mechanic, city Waco, Texas, medical history, diabetes, hypertension, did that say? Hypertension. GRA, age 55, married, occupation housewife, Farmington, what's UT? Utah? Medical history, kidney disease. Name HD, age 41, married, occupation veterinarian, city Milwaukee, Wisconsin, is that? Medical history, no illnesses. Name HF, age 38, single, occupation computer scientist, city Pittsburgh. Is that Pennsylvania? I don't know my states, I don't know how to read. Why do you guys even watch me? Medical history, thyroid disorders. Name JR, age 50, single, not specified. Charlotte, NC, what's that? Name KR, age 28, status single, occupation not specified. City Ocala, Florida, medical history not specified. Name LD, age 31, single, salesman, New Haven. I want to say Cincinnati. You know what? I need to search up these. Connecticut. Cincinnati. Is that even a fucking state? Alright, I need to know what this other one was now. What's NC? North Carolina, of course. You know, a lot of Europeans have a go at Americans for not knowing their, like, geography. But I'll be honest, I don't know American geography. So, NW 28, single, student, city, Sacramento, California. Medical history, no illnesses. Name, OA, age 28, married, teacher, Eugene, whatever the fuck that is. Medical history, smoking. OR, Oregon. Okay. Learning as I go, guys. Learning as I go. Name, RY, 33, divorced, chef, Cabo Coral, Florida. What does GERD mean? Okay, so they're going... It went from oldest to youngest. The youngest they've got so far is 18. That's crazy. Student, New York, New York. Medical history, no illnesses. Oh, how low is this going to go? Or is that's it? Okay. The 4 modes of jouissance... I need to know how that's... But I'm curious with these things.
Jouissance.
Jouissance. Do it again.
Jouissance.
Jouissance. 4 modes of jouissance, the prime mover of the reel.
Jacques-Alain Miller, gendre
Jacques-Alain Miller, son-in-law and intellectual heir of Jacques Lacan, took up the master's final teachings, the last outlines of the theory he was working on before his death, to approach the ultimate definition of the real, the most complex concept of his psychoanalytic work. Defining the real as something distinct from sense and moreover different from knowledge. Okay. It operates according to a concept that should not be understood as a mere force, but rather as a concept divided into 4 modes of action, ranging from discourse to semblances of reality. Jouissance, or the way in which the real enjoys the bodies of reality. That's disgusting. The imaginary jouissance. To perceiving everyday reality as a barrier to the symbolic elaboration of individuals. It becomes impossible to call this an apple, it will be called something else. What? This imaginary jouissance is internalized in language and alters the linguistic representation of the semblance. A signification of jouissance, a transportation of images into symbols. The apple is seen with characteristics that are not proper to it. It projects an image of itself that does not correspond to its nature. Oh, okay. Camera stop recording. Are you guys understanding this? I don't think we're meant to, right? I mean, I'm dumb. Don't get me wrong. Like, I will put my hands up and say, listen, I say some things that cause a lot of face slaps, okay? Or face palms, whatever it's called, face slaps, you know what I mean? But I admit, like, yes, this is pretty crazy. As if they were its own, even though they do not belong to its original nature. The impossible jouissance allows for the signification. This paradigm implies a substitution of repression for defense. When a disjunction occurs, a breaking of logic, the real emerges violently as after a trauma. An ominous breach opens up in people's experience, bringing with it violence and physical and/or psychic destruction. The fragmented jouissance becomes fragmented in the psychic drive zone object. The impossible enters everyday reality through the perforated object of nonsense. Both individually and collectively, this object is the presence of a hole. A void that allows as a breach the entrance into everyday reality. What is happening? This is like, the more you explain it, the more confusing it gets. It's like one of Einstein's relativity or whatever. The more you kind of get explained it, you're like, well, I guess it does make sense, but what about this? It happened in Spokane, Washington State, 1990. Security cameras in the wooded areas set up to protect animals noticed one night that some nocturnal creatures had disappeared. Suspicion fell on a couple of men who had been camping and having bonfires in protected areas of the park. Security personnel went out to patrol the area after hearing some strange noises resembling explosions and chilling screams. The records didn't find significant evidence and there was no trace of the campers, until the cameras captured some rabbits that were in delicate conditions, apparently injured. They turned them into rabbits? Upon re-exploring the park and the nearby areas of the city, the following was discovered through body cameras. Oh. The mannequin found was returned to a nearby workshop that claimed it days later. However, the strange events didn't end there, as some inexplicable images were found on the static cameras in the park. Oh my god. These are just horrific. Okay, I think we moved on. This is the last video now, called The Clinical Trial. Let's jump into this. This is the last one so far. I don't know if there's any more, but we'll see. Tape 10. This is such a weird concept to try and wrap your head around. The following commercial video was displayed for 6 months in 1956 on American television at random hours between 11 AM and 9:30 PM. This car could be yours. Be a successful man. You'll be able to afford these. What? You will achieve a successful marriage. Join us for science. Win amazing prizes. And $10,000 in cash. Send your application by postal mail to the offices of the Department of Anomalous Reality Investigation Cases. Yeah, that sounds fun. Yeah, just the name Anomalous Reality Investigation. Yeah, sign me up for that. 8th Avenue, 15722, Manhattan. We need you for the good of the nation. Its purpose to recruit individuals to track and study strange phenomena that mental health sciences were investigating outside public knowledge. 40 years later, the individuals who submitted their applications, as well as their children and grandchildren, became part of the clinical trial program. Oh my god. To provide empirical evidence of the real and study the postulates of Jacques Lacan and Jacques-Alain Miller from a positive science perspective.
Dr. Alexander Samard presents to the scientific community of the Department of Anomalous Reality Investigation Cases the clinical trial. 11 American citizens were chosen in 1991 to be directly exposed to certain objects that were captured due to their high probability of being corrupted by the real.
Okay.
For the safety of the department's personnel, the participants were isolated in heavily shielded rooms within the experimentation
area. Yeah, that looks nice and comfortable.
The objectives of the trial were as follows. First, to study the interaction of the objects with the human mind. Second, to study the physical implications of contact with the real. Third, to study the potential breaches that open up in the everyday world when the real is disturbed.
Okay. The following images were taken by surveillance cameras inside each of the containment cells. The images have lost quality due to the disturbances of the real. Okay. So that thing on the right is the real. He was ordered to stand for 3 hours next to a mannequin. Nothing happened to him. Subject GRA, isolation cell 2. She was ordered to sit for 6 hours in front of a porcelain statue of a goose. Nothing happened to her. Subject HD, isolation cell 3. She was ordered to sit for 5 hours in front of a mannequin. Well, that's disturbing. After 4 hours, the mannequin started taking her form. Oh my god. And the woman began to fade away. Dang! Subject HF, overwhelmed by panic, attempted to escape from isolation cell 4. He started screaming in excruciating pain in his back. After an hour, he eventually melted into a black substance. My god. Subject JR in the isolation cell 5 was ordered to brush his teeth with a chard complex. She was instructed to show the state of his teeth every 5 minutes. Oh, that's just nasty. Eventually, she was unable to stand up again. Her face started being eroded by the toothpaste. That's not very nice of them. That's not very cash money. Subject here, isolation cell 6. He was ordered to sit next to a mannequin for 6 hours. Nothing happened to him. The mannequin simply adopted a similar posture. Ah, he was just chilling with him, man. He was mirroring. That's what he was doing, mirroring. Subject LD in isolation cell 7, as soon as he sat down, transformed into a statue. My god, why would you agree to this? Subject NW, isolation cell 8. He was ordered to sit for 3 hours in front of a porcelain statue of a goose. Nothing happened to him. Subject 08, isolation cell 9. She was ordered to sit in front of a wooden cube and interact with it for an indefinite period of time. She claimed that worms started coming out of the cube and filling the room. But the images did not show anything as she described. Jeez. Y, isolation cell 10. He was ordered to sit on the floor and place a bag over his head for 2 hours. The man only reported dizziness and a slight headache. Subject ZT, isolation cell 11. He was also ordered to sit on the floor and place a bag over his head, but for 5 hours. He did not survive. The cause of death appeared to be a cardiopulmonary arrest. Probably having a bag over your head for 5 hours. And in the cells 3, 4, 5, 8, and 10, 2 hours after the test, the following individuals or entities appeared on camera, whose identities could not be determined. Their nature is unknown, but they were likely an effect of the real. My God. Why is that one the most disturbing? These are all disturbing. Feels real.
After the tests, the survivors were taken to the Annihilation Chamber, where they were exposed to the strangest
with a name like the Annihilation Chamber, I'm sure nothing happened.
Object of the real ever studied. The chamber itself.
I am more confused than when I first began. It's a very, very interesting concept. A concept that I can't quite wrap my head around. So the real is almost like a dimension that cannot be fathomed by the human brain, but it can only come about through trauma. And just because it comes about doesn't mean everybody's going to see it. So maybe it only affects certain people who look at certain things. So where I see a box, a person who's looking at it who maybe has been traumatized can see something else. Maybe it's like those horses, those dead horses, I forgot what they're called, from Harry Potter, where you can only see them if you've witnessed death. I think it's got a similar vibe to that. You know, if you've been traumatized in life, you're basically screwed, is what this is saying here. But there we go, guys. That was Anomaly. I'm going to definitely subscribe. It's hard to articulate what that did to my brain, but it was very good, and it was different to anything I've seen before, for sure. But there we go, guys. If you did enjoy, be sure to go subscribe to Anomaly, like the videos, all that good stuff. If you enjoyed my reaction, why not leave a like, rate, and subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you did enjoy, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care, guys.